Rookie of the Year. I have a feeling we're guessing the same guy.
I'm going Paul Skeens.
Can I pick Livy Dunn as my Rookie of the Year? She's more of a salty vet now than Paul Skeens. She's more vet.
She's a salty vet for sure, but on a very selfish note, I was opening up some baseball cards with my kid the other day, and I got myself a very rare Paul Skeens card. So if he wins Rookie of the Year, that's more money in my pocket. So Paul Skeens, do it up, baby, do it up.
Love it. I'm totally down for that. Paul Skeens is a stud, man. This dude is. We're just seeing things that no one else is doing out there.
By the way, if I was to pick a secondary guy, I love this guy, Ellie De La Cruz. I think that guy could steal 100 bases. And if he steals 100 bases, it's going to be tough not to give him that award. It's going to be
really tough. I don't know. Is he even eligible? Because he played a lot last year.
It's a good question. I'm pretty sure he's eligible as a rookie, but I'm not 100% sure.
Sometimes it gets a little funky on the numbers and stuff and the amount of games played. In my heart, I feel like he played too much, but I'm not exactly sure. Paul Skeens to me is just 2.06 ERA, 52 innings pitch. I know that's a little light on the board because we know he sat out for in the pitching in the minors, building up 70 punch outs in those 52 innings pitch, and he's in this rotation of just a couple of young studs and Falter, Jared Jones, Mitch Keller, and then Martin Perez, which is kind of crazy. He's the guy that's kind of struggling, and he's the vet in that rotation. You know, what's crazy is usually it's the other way around. We see the rookies kind of, faltering, to throw a little falter in there, but I think he's going to be better, and I think this rotation is going to be one of the best in baseball for a long time. Really interesting to see what this rotation is going to do when it comes to August and September, when all these guys and Falter, Jones, Skeens, I mean, I don't know how much Falter, but all those guys probably got to limit some innings. So they got to figure out, they got some problems there. I think they add somebody to the rotation, maybe some salty guys that just can eat up innings, give them days off. But anyways, I think both of us believe Paul Skeens will walk away with that Rookie of the Year award. NL Cy Young. Who do you got?
Somebody that we've spoke to on our old show, someone that I absolutely love as a ball player, somebody that is on my most hated team, the Philadelphia Phillies. That would be Zach Wheeler.
Zach Wheeler, great pick. I mean, how do you even argue that, right? There's nothing I can say about that. Nothing wrong with that pick. Zach Wheeler's an absolute stud. I've got Tyler Glasnow. Numbers wise, he's not quite on that same level as like the ERA stuff as like a Ranger Suarez and stuff like that. But I think at the end of the day, you're going to see this Dodger team take off, and it's going to be on his back. He's got incredible stuff, strikeout to walk to inning pitch ratios. All of it's just insane. This guy's got some of the best stuff in baseball, and I think he's going to be the ace of that staff going into a huge playoff run. And I think before that, you're going to see him walk away with that MVP, but it's going to be close. And this is probably one of the closest battles that we're going to see in all of baseball is this NL Cy Young, because there's so many guys pitching so well on that NL side. I mean, I think Wheeler and Suarez are going to split votes, and that's going to really hurt them both. And I think Glasnow is going to get basically anybody that ever watches him pitch understands he's just got different stuff.
And there's a pitcher out there who could theoretically win Cy Young or NL Rookie of the Year, and we didn't even discuss him, Shota Imanaga. That guy's been incredible, and he could win one of those two awards, if not both.
Could. Obviously, going on the IL right now isn't helping by any means. I think it's going to be a little tough when there's some guys that are just so good, but again, he could walk away with it. A lot of things to me with Rookie of the Year especially, it's your first impression, and it's media. I don't think as much with Cy Young and MVP. I think Rookie of the Year, though, when everybody gets behind you and pushes some young guy as the Rookie of the Year, they just ride that horse, even if their numbers aren't as good as some other players, more than anything else, because it's more potential. I think Rookie of the Year is actually more about potential than actually his numbers. And Skeens is just, he's already got the media hype. The only thing he can do is get hurt. And I don't see that coming this year. Now we're moving to the most important award in the National League, the NL Most Valuable Player. James, who are you going with?
What's the point of even asking me? Anybody who's ever seen this show, has ever talked to me, has ever seen our old show, listened to our old show, knows that I am a sucker for Shohei Ohtani. So to me, it's not whether or not Shohei wins, it's who comes in second. And I haven't figured it out because I'm still thinking about Shohei. So it's Shohei Ohtani.
The only way Shohei doesn't win this thing is if Ozuna just ends up being Triple Crown or Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman split votes with him, or some pitcher just goes out and just does some insane thing where they're just throwing perfect game or whatever, no-hitter after no-hitter type of thing. It's Shohei's award in the National League, on the National League side, with what he's doing is crazy. It's just the problem is Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts. And Mookie, for a month of the year, was MVP. And then it's like Freddie was MVP. Now it's Shohei. It's just kind of a little bit of a flavor of the month type of thing with this Dodgers lineup. And that scares me when you're looking at votes. And then you're going to see Marcell Ozuna with what he is doing. I mean, the dude's pretty much Triple Crown right now. That stuff, especially when you're one player carrying a team, matters. And it matters the East Coast voters are going to see him a lot more than Shohei or Freddie or Mookie. And when his numbers are very comparable, and then you see him carrying a team, to me, that actually is MVP. There's only two things I think can stop it, and it's Marcell Ozuna and it's Freddie Freeman and Betts. I still think Shohei's the MVP, but if Marcell Ozuna's Triple Crown or even like number 1 or 2 in every category, it's going to be really hard to not pick him, especially if that Braves team makes the playoffs in 1 or 2 wildcard spot, and they just look at him and go like, well, you're the reason.
Call me a conspiracy theorist, call me an idiot, call me what you will. Marcell Ozuna's not winning that award. Major League Baseball does not want to promote Marcell Ozuna. He's a guy who has had his problems with domestic violence in the past. They kind of shut up about it because he's a good player. He hasn't done anything lately, but they want him under the radar being a very good player. They don't want him being great. They don't want to promote him because then all of a sudden they're talking about, well, how come Marcell Ozuna's playing, but Trevor Bauer isn't? And they don't want to open up that can of worms.
I get it. Well, that's true. Well, a lot of that, I actually agree with you. And I think it's going to be a problem. I think it's going to be a big problem that they're based. And I think there's a reason why you're not seeing him getting promoted as much. Another dude to talk about too is Bryce Harper. He's right there, man. But it's kind of crazy when you're looking at like OPS, which is what I kind of jump to, my first number I look at when I'm looking at batters, because it kind of gives me a little bit overall pictures. Number 1, Ohtani, Harper, Ozuna, and then you got Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts. I mean, three of the top five in one lineup, which is scary, which shows me how much production these guys can do. Ketel Marte's right there too, and that's another guy to watch out for because that guy is streaky too, super streaky. I mean, Betts, Freeman, and Ohtani are always usually steady. Freeman's a little streaky at times. Harper can be streaky as streaky gets, but he's usually pretty steady. Ozuna. But Ketel Marte, man, this dude could jump up and surprise a lot of people. I think his power numbers need to jump from 17 to get in those 20s. And he's going to get a lot of conversation because this guy is, I mean, he's right there with a lot of stuff.